Hi everyone, I'm Kylie Stanbridge from Floraville Public School. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about reading, and the reason being that during this time of COVID coming across all of our lands, children are often seeing books for the first time with you. Traditionally, the books that they would have seen prior to being in our COVID pandemic would be ones that they've already read in class several times. So to help you out, we're just doing a few little how-to videos, and today the video that we're doing is on orientating to a text. Excuse me. So what does that mean? That actually means when you're orientating to the text, it just means that you're giving the children a snapshot about what that text involves. And that snapshot gets more involved the lower the level that your child is reading. And the reason being that what we're doing is it gets the children to start thinking about the events in the story, how they're unfolding, and what language they may need to bring to that book. If we hold up a book about dogs, they know that they don't have to be bringing in vocab and storylines around elephants and things that they would need to know about elephants. They know already that they're going to be asked to draw upon their knowledge of dogs, what dogs do, what are some of the tricks they may do, what you could feed them. So they're filtering out any unnecessary information and vocab. So today I'm going to walk you through what an orientation looks like, excuse me, for several levels of books, and give you a bit of a guide. So the first one I'm going to hold up is a level 2. It's a really simple text, but it's a text that some of our kindies and possibly even our year ones would see. The first thing that you do when you're orientating to a text or orientating to a book, is to give the children the title, because this directs them on to the parts of the book that are going to be the most pertinent. So this story is called When I Look Up. And how I would go about this is to say this story is called When I Look Up. It's about a little boy that's outside on a beautiful day and he's looking up at the clouds, and there's something exciting that's going to be happening in those clouds. So let's have a look. When I look up. Here he is, he's looking up. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm already preempting what words the children would be seeing when they're reading. And I would direct the children to have a look and say, look, he's looking up to the clouds. We know he's looking up. Look at the cloud. It's not in the shape of a usual cloud. It's in the shape of an animal we might know. And this is where you'd engage them. What animal could that be? They might say dog, and you could say, look, it's got really big whiskers. So you're leading them to the right answer. So then eventually they would probably get to cat. We go through the whole story like this. Look, you can see this one. Oh, it looks like a dog running. If they get stuck, you can help them. Sometimes they might say sheep. You could say, oh yeah, it could be a sheep. You could leave it there, or you could say, do you know what we call a baby sheep? Because you know that they're going to be seeing lamb. You would have already looked through and seen that they're looking at lamb. So you could setting up that vocab for them. As we get over to this page, and you do most pages, or you would do every page at this level, sorry. Here it gets a bit tricky because we know that this is a dinosaur. They may say dragon, and if that was the case, I would look at this book and then I would be saying, oh, but it's not breathing fire. If it was a dragon, we know that most dragons breathe fire. What else could it be? So you're leading them through it. If they don't get it exactly, that's fine. So we continue on. As we were reading the book, we would start back at the title page again. When I look up, and you'd be getting them to point to it. We'd start over here. When I look up, I see a cat. If they got stuck and said dog, you could say, that makes sense. I see a dog, but look, it starts with a K. What could it be? It could be cat. And then you can point out to them, look, it's got the same start again. When I look up, I see a. So you're leading them into it. This ensures success not only for you and them, but it also lets them see patterning that they'll see in books. As you get to a more difficult level, you can drop back the orientation a fraction. So you would still tell them the title, which is birthday presents, and then you would give them a little synopsis. So you would say, this story is about a set of twins, boy and girls, Matthew and Emma, and it's their birthday. And that's why it's called birthday presents. And you might only lead through a few of the pages here. So you'd start the introduction by saying, oh, you know, it's their birthday. Where would they be going, do you think, to buy a birthday present? Leading them into the fact that they're going to a shop. So you're directing their knowledge of what they know and bringing what they know to a situation that's unfamiliar. but you're directing them to the pictures. Pictures are crucial to children's reading no matter what the level. It would be like us, excuse me, if someone told me I had to fix my car and they gave me a book, a mechanic manual, the first thing I would look at would be the pictures to guide my knowledge of what I know and try and associate it to what I don't know. So here you would be saying that Matthew and Emma are going to the shop, and oh, look over here. It looks like Mum and Matthew are going to go and pick first while Emma and Dad wait outside, so that you're already setting up the preface of the story. Then you would go on for a couple of pages and talk about what Matthew's seen and what Mum's showing him, and then sometimes too when we're orientating, we'll pick out things that would conversation piece or a phrase that children would be unfamiliar with. So I would say here, oh, Mum's probably thinking, oh dear, I hope he doesn't pick that, because it's got the oh dear there. So you can do things like that. You can debug the book for them as well. And then here they are, look, they're swapping, and now Emma's going in and she's going to pick Matthew a present. I wonder what she'll pick. And I think Dad's going in with her. So you can lead it through simplistic but without going into every page. The other thing there is always tell children proper nouns. If it's the name of someone that they can't sound out or stretch out or know phonetically, tell it to them, because there's no proper nouns stand alone in a grammatical context. There's nothing for them to draw upon. So you don't want them hung up on a proper noun, the name of a character or a place. This last level that I've got to look at today is level 22. And it's called the Shooting Star. And what you would do in this type of book that's a bit harder, the children you know have a richer vocab already, they already usually do have a really good sense of story and how stories unfold. And by this age group that are reading this, which is usually around our year 2s, you would be thinking that they have an understanding of stories and narratives and that there's a problem in them. So you would then orientate along those lines. So I would say here, this story is called Shooting Star. It's fabulous. Always tell a story, no matter what the level. It's a fabulous story about a little girl named Emily, and one night while she's busy playing her favourite star game on the computer, there's a problem that happens. What do you think the problem might be? You'd ask them. It's dark. Look, Grandma's got a torch. What do you think might happen? And that's where you can lead down the fact that they've had a blackout. You can let them have a little look through it for the next couple of pages, and then you're going to get them to read it. With children that are independent readers, if it's an information book, consider it quite tricky and technological language that they may be unfamiliar with. Always jump in if they've had a try. With any of these books, once the orientation's done, you would be wanting them to have a go at words themselves first, and that'll be another little video we might do to help you. But orientating is important in any level. But as I said, with those children that are independent, as adults, we often have a book, at the back of the book there'll be a little synopsis. Get them to read that and tell you what sort of ideas they may come across. I hope this has helped, and I hope you enjoy reading with your children.